Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking you to my favorite Korean restaurant in the area, which is Yummy Tofu BBQ. Yummy Tofu BBQ is a small family-run restaurant, and you can tell that they put love into all of their food. You can definitely tell that they use quality ingredients, and that's what makes their traditional Korean food so incredibly delicious. Let's head over to Yummy Tofu BBQ now. I'm going to be getting a few of my favorites. I'm back now from Yummy Tofu BBQ, and I'm just salivating because this food smells so amazing. The first item I'm going to be trying is their fried chicken, and I've actually never had this before, but my Korean friend Jay recommended I try this, so I'm definitely trusting her on this because after all, she's the one who suggested that I try out Yummy Tofu BBQ a few years ago. The batter on this fried chicken is really light and airy. It almost reminds me of Japanese tempura batter, and it doesn't feel overly greasy. I have a feeling this is going to be one delicious bite. The best thing about it is it's still crispy on the outside. This fried chicken is very simple. It tastes like it's only flavored with salt, but that's what makes it really delicious. That's how you know it's good fried chicken, is when it tastes good and it's only flavored with salt, because everything about it is delicious. The chicken is moist and juicy, and the batter is light and airy, and as you bite into it, you can just feel the pockets of air crunching between your teeth. Next, I'm going to be trying one of my all-time favorites, and this is something that I get almost every single time. This is their dumpling and rice cake soup. What I love about this soup is there's so many different items in there. There's beef in there, dumplings, as well as rice cakes of course, and there's even a little bit of carrots. But I'm just going to start off with their broth, which doesn't look like a whole lot. It's just a clear broth, but trust me, this is fantastic broth. It's such a smooth and clear and rich meaty broth. It definitely tastes like they use the bones from the meat, almost like beef bone or maybe pork bone perhaps, or even a mixture, and it's cooked for many hours, so you really get this rich meaty flavor, and it's also a little bit of starchy from the rice cakes, so it's nice and thick. This is really warm and comforting in the winter time. Now for a bit of the beef. Wow, their beef is so delicious. It's tender, it's soft, and it melts in your mouth. And I think that's definitely because it's been cooking in the soup for hours, so it just soaks in that soup and really gets all the flavor from the soup, and it's so delicious. And of course, we have to have a taste of our dumpling. These dumplings are incredible. They're basically just like a sponge, and they soak up all the broth, so it's almost like biting into a soup dumpling. They're filled with soup, and the meat inside there is so juicy. And of course, the rice cakes are always a delight. The rice cakes are not mushy at all. They have a wonderfully soft and chewy and bouncy texture, almost like the texture of boba. I know that's a weird comparison, but that's what it almost reminds me of in terms of the texture. And I really like that they also put some seaweed in the soup, because I just got a taste of that, and it really adds a nice rich umami flavor. Now I'm going to be trying some of their banchan, which are traditional Korean sides, and they're usually eaten throughout the meal. I'm going to start off with their kimchi. I'm definitely impressed with their kimchi. It is very fresh tasting, so I can tell that they made it themselves, because it has this wonderful fresh crunch when you bite into it, and it just bursts in your mouth, and it's so full of flavor. It's slightly fermented and tart and spicy, and it definitely goes great with some of the richer foods like the beef, which I'm going to be trying next because it will cut through the grease. Now I'm going to be trying their Cowbee. This is one of my favorite items. This is barbecued beef short rib. Gosh, their Cowbee is so good. I really like that it's marinated for a long time, so it keeps the meat nice and tender and moist, and it's so juicy. And the quality meat is delicious as well, and it's so rich and fatty, along with the green onions on top just to finish it off. Wow, this is so good. And like I said, this definitely goes great with the kimchi. Now for another one of the banchan sides, and this is just marinated broccoli. know it might look plain, but it's not plain in any way. It's bright and crunchy and full of flavor. You taste the sesame oil that's on there. It's nice and rich and nutty, and it's also topped with a little bit of salt, which gives it a little bit of saltiness, and there's a bit of garlic for a nice punch of flavor. Now for the fish cake, which is now one of their sides. Wow, that's some really good fish cake. Usually I don't like marinated Korean fish cake because I find it too fishy, but not this kind. And also the texture is perfect. It's not mushy. It just has this wonderfully soft and bouncy texture that's very delicate, and it's marinated in a sweet soy. Wow, this is some good stuff. Now for their japchae, which is one of my favorite banchan items of all time, and these are sweet potato starch noodles. And I know it sounds weird, but these are delicious. The sweet potato starch noodles on their own have a very mild flavor, but combined into japchae, they're slightly sweet because there's some sweet soy sauce, and there's also a little bit of nuttiness from the sesame oil that's in there. And they also chop up a little bit of carrots very finely, just a little bit of julienne carrots, and there's a little bit of mushroom in there as well. Now for their spicy pork, and this is one dish that I make sure to get every single time because it's that good. This marinated pork is so flavorful. It definitely tastes grilled, and it's so rich from the gochujang that's in there, which is Korean spicy red pepper paste. So it's a little bit fermented, but it is so strong and spicy and rich and flavorful, and it just coats your tongue in all of its deliciousness. And I'm just gonna chase that with a little bit of their purple rice. This is unlike any rice that I've ever had before. It's a mixture of red rice and sticky rice, so it's soft and sort of sticky, and it almost reminds me of brown rice, only a whole lot tastier. The final dish I'm going to be trying is their cold Bimbi Pop, which is a traditional Korean rice dish. On the bottom is rice, and it's topped with different vegetables. Some are pickled, and there's also a fried egg on top, as well as a little bit of beef. And before eating this, you have to mix it up. And of course, I'm gonna add in a little bit of gochujang right now, which is that spicy red pepper paste I was talking about. And we're just gonna pour a little bit of this in, and then we're gonna mix this in to our Bimbi Pop as well. Let's just get a nice big bite of this Bimbi Pop. I really enjoy their Bimbi Pop, and it's really great compared to other restaurants that I've been to because I like the wide variety of veggies that are in here. You have a really nice crunch from the julienne carrots and bean sprouts, and I also love the pickled spicy radish in there, which goes great with the gochujang, and there's just a little bit of beef for a nice addition, and as well as the fried egg. This is a very solid Bimbi Pop. There's also a little bit of zucchini in this Bimbi Pop as well as lettuce. This was just an incredible meal, and all the food was delicious, and from all the times I've gone to Yummy Tofu and Barbecue, their food is very consistent and everything always turns out perfect every single time. And I was really happy that I got to try their fried chicken because this was a nice addition since I've never tried it before. If you're all looking for traditional Korean food in the Bay Area, definitely check out Yummy Tofu and Barbecue, and in the process you can be supporting a small local business. Anyways, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.